So the headline reads, exclusive, Shelly Finkel opens up on Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury negotiations. Hopes fight will be done next week. And here we get a bunch of spiel from Shelly Finkel, Wilder's co-manager. Yeah, he's talking about the Fury fight and Joshua and all this kind of stuff. Let me surmise exactly what's going on here, people. Tyson Fury has been saying, and we know Tyson Fury's envious and bitter about Anthony Joshua, and he has been for a long time. That's not to say he's not a great fighter, because Tyson Fury is a tremendous fighter, and he might beat Joshua. He might beat Wilder too. Tyson Fury might be the best of the bunch. We'll have to wait and see. But just because he's an excellent fighter, which he is, it doesn't mean he hasn't got some flaws in his character. And one thing we definitely see with Tyson Fury is that he is bitter and envious when it comes to Anthony Joshua. Okay? He very rarely says anything positive about Anthony Joshua at all. Even when his former trainer Peter Fury would say positive things about Joshua, Tyson would refuse. Such was the bitterness and envy. And he is saying that it was very easy. He keeps on emphasizing it was very easy to do a deal with Deontay Wilder's team. Making out as though Joshua's team were making things up about Wilder's team being difficult to deal with. Well, let me just put things into perspective here. Frank Warren, who is Tyson Fury's promoter, said that doing a deal with the Eubanks was virtually impossible. Yeah, he said that they were a nightmare to deal with, they were terrible to deal with, and Eddie Hearn said the same. Both of them, both Frank Warren, Fury's promoter, and Eddie Hearn, Joshua's promoter, said that the Eubanks were an absolute nightmare to deal with. But yet, Kalle Sauerland said the Eubanks were very easy to deal with, and that they got the deal done for Eubank Jr. to be in the World Boxing Super Series. They got that done very quickly, without any hassle. So, one man's meat is another man's poison. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Different strokes for different folks. You know, just because one person finds somebody difficult to deal with, it don't mean they're lying. Maybe for them, for their particular deal, it was difficult. But for you and your deal, it's not difficult because it's different circumstances. And with Tyson Fury, of course, he's not demanding as much money as Joshua. Why? Because Tyson Fury doesn't have a belt. Tyson Fury doesn't have the kind of commercial power that Joshua has. So when he goes to the table with Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury's the B-side. They're talking about having this fight in the United States. Well, Tyson Fury's the B-side then, isn't he, in the United States? So of course he's not going to have as much trouble at the negotiating table with Wilder as he would have with Joshua. Why would he? Yeah? Because Tyson Fury's not making as many demands because he can't make as many demands. He's not in a position to be making as many demands as Joshua is. Tyson Fury is looking for a big fight, a big payday. Because where else is he going to get one? He either has to fight Wilder or Joshua. Whereas with Joshua, he can make big paydays fighting anybody. He can make, multi-millions against Povetkin or against Dylan White or whoever. He doesn't have to fight Wilder or Fury to make insane amounts of money per fight. You see? But Tyson Fury does. He has to take on one of the champions to make any significant money. And so when you're in that position, if you're rational, you can't afford to be so picky with what you're demanding in the contract. And Tyson Fury isn't being so picky, at least when it comes to Deontay Wilder. He is when it comes to Joshua. You're saying he wants 50-50, which is extraordinary to me. To me, that just shows that Tyson Fury don't want the Joshua fight right now. Now, I don't blame Tyson Fury for not signing with Eddie Hearn for his comeback. If Tyson Fury had signed with Eddie Hearn earlier on in his career, that would be different, okay? But for his comeback, I don't blame Tyson Fury not signing with Hearn. And the reason why is because Hearn wanted to put Fury in tough fights immediately. And to me, that was unreasonable. because Fury's lost 100 pounds in weight. He's had depression, alcohol and drug problems. It's unreasonable to just bring him straight back and put him in there with a tough opponent. Yeah. So I don't blame him for not signing with Eddie Hearn for his comeback. Okay. But with that being said, Tyson Fury has gone on to slag Joshua off, even though he has no intention of fighting Joshua and has constantly said, yeah, I remember before he signed a deal with Warren, he was saying, I'm not going to let people pressure me into taking these fights too soon. That's what he said. You know, in referring to the Anthony Joshua fight, I'm not going to allow them to pressure me to take these fights too soon. I'll take them when I'm ready. So he's basically admitted several times that he's not ready for the Joshua fight yet. That's why he's talking about 50-50. That's why he's bringing out all this stuff, because he's pricing himself out. He's not serious about the fight. Sometimes the best form of defense is attack. And that's the tactic Tyson Fury is using in the media when it comes to Anthony Joshua. Because he is avoiding the Joshua fight right now. But to disguise that, he's attacking Joshua all the time. Yeah? Sometimes the best form of defense is attack. That's what he's doing. And he's taking on Wilder. Why? Because, honestly, Tyson Fury sees Deontay Wilder as an easier fight than Anthony Joshua. I know he's saying the opposite, but his actions show that he thinks Wilder's easier, because he would get far more money to fight Joshua than he's getting for fighting Wilder. Far more money. And he won't even take on a Tony Bellew this year. But yeah, he's willing to take on Wilder at the end of the year, apparently, supposedly. But yeah, he's not willing to take on Joshua this year. You see what I'm saying? Tyson Fury's actions show that he thinks Deontay Wilder is actually an easier mark than Anthony Joshua. He thinks Wilder is technically not as good and what have you, even though he's been saying the opposite. Oh, Wilder's the most dangerous man and he's the number one in the division for sure. He's probably had his eye on Wilder in his comeback for time. And not only does he think Wilder's an easier fight than Joshua, but also he would like to win the WBC belt so he can then go to Anthony Joshua and sit at the negotiating table and say, now let's talk 50-50, or now let's talk a hell of a lot more money than you were offering me before. Yeah. Now he's got a leg to stand on at a negotiating table. So that's what it's all about. And as far as Shelly Fink, I mean, Shelly Fink was just whatever. Blah de blah 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 blah. We know what he has to say, and it's nothing new. So, but yeah, as far as Tyson Fury against Deontay Wilder, as long as Tyson Fury is back to his best, then yeah, the fight is great, and I hope it happens. And the way he's been looking in training has been very good, and it's very encouraging. So hopefully he will do the extraordinary and get back to his best. And hopefully this deal is real, you know, because fans have been very frustrated this year with the fact that Wilder Joshua didn't get made. The last thing we need is for another big heavyweight fight between the WBC champion and the lineal champion. The last thing we need is for this to fall through and for it to not be real. That would be terribly disappointing. So we'll see what happens. If this fight does take place, who are you guys picking to win? Will it be Deontay Wilder? Will it be Tyson Fury? They say the fight is likely to take place in Vegas. Will Tyson Fury's jab and move stuff go over well in Vegas? Or, you know, will Deontay Wilder's power punching be more rewarded by the judges? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. It's Satman, I'm out.